Hello, hello. Hi, AO. Hello, hello, hi, AO. I kind of like the sound of that. Hi, everybody. I am back. It's Greg D'Amico here, and I am back to go through some questions, say hi, catch up. Happy New Year, everybody, and trying to do what I can to help out, share my experiences, and provide feedback to some of the questions so that we all can learn and grow together. Okay, a little history again for anybody that's new. I have a software company called Efficience. We do custom software applications, mostly mobile app e-commerce for medium-sized businesses, some large. I do work with Coca-Cola, along with a lot of mid-sized companies that in the 50 to $250 million range, and building these type of applications for them. I also work with some startups and some SaaS people, software as a service people, building applications for them to sell their services online, just like a base camp, or like when you subscribe to different things out there, you pay a monthly fee and you have access to it, whether say it's Netflix or something. Netflix is a SaaS application. So you pay money every month, you get access to the videos. That's kind of work that we do to help people who want to integrate or market in the digital world. So also on top of that, I have like going. If you go back in my history, I did financial planning, to money management, to starting a mutual fund. I built out a mutual fund in '95 and wrote it to some very nice successes up until 2000. We were the number one growth and income fund in the country for 3 and 5 years. Went up to $1 billion in assets, and then unfortunately rode that wave back down again as the beginning of the 2000s were very turbulent times in the marketplace. You had 9/11, you had WorldCom and Enron scandals, you had a mutual fund scandal, you just had one thing after another in 3 years of just completely damaging and disappointing results. So I saw the future being connectivity through software. So in 2004, I set up a company called Efficience with a partner, and we had a guy that wanted to work with us, a developer that wanted to work with us, and he was from India. And we went to his hometown in India, and we set up an office over there and built out a bunch of developers, and have been running the company ever since. So got us into mobile apps early, right around the 2009-2010 period, as mobile apps were launching, and we've been doing that and helping clients with that type of work. So I've had some other businesses. I ran a 1-800 Got Junk franchise for a little while. That didn't work out. I sold it, lost a bunch of money, and had to lick my wounds on that one. So lots of experience with launching products, trying to launch products, getting things in the marketplace, and so forth. So hopefully all this experience that I have in some way will help you guys out. So I'm going to get started with the questions now. Okay, so first question is from Robin Turpin. Robin, thanks for all your questions. You are always a contributor here to reaching out and asking for info and advice. So good to have you back. Questions that she asked: do you recommend sending holiday cards to potential prospects, business connections, and other clients? Thank you so much. Business description and background question: art for calm. Elevator pitch: as an artist, I help people feel moments of calm through my oil paintings of sunsets. Sounds beautiful. It's a great elevator pitch, Robin. So to answer your question, though, I do not do that. I don't send them out at that time. I had in the past, and then I was exposed to one of my EO events. As on top of what I said before, I'm also a part of EO Entrepreneurs Organization, which you have to be an owner of the business or own 50% of the business or founded the business, and it has to do $1 million in revenue a year. I've been in EO since '99, and I have been around the world with EO and I've learned a lot of great things, been exposed to a lot of speakers and so forth. And so one speaker that I got exposed to, became a good friend, is John Rulin of Giftology. John did an amazing presentation, and when I heard about what this guy was getting, like standing room only in his speeches, and I was like, how does somebody talking about giving gifts to somebody have such a wow speaking program that everybody is packed into the room and sitting on the floor, standing around the back end of the place. And I went and listened to it, and he did wow me. It was spectacular. So one, I would recommend getting the book Giftology. It's a small book, short read, but very mind opening as to how to really be out there and give gifts and share with people. One of the things he says about doing it for the holidays is just that's when everybody else does it. So you are just kind of lost in the shuffle. And basically, if you don't, then most people will don't even know that you didn't, because they get so many other stuff from other people that it just all is kind of mixed up at that time period. So one of the best things to do is to give unexpected gifts at times when they're not expecting them. So say maybe January or February, or a time period that is not appropriate to, like Thanksgiving, to Christmas, to Easter, or to any other holiday, 4th of July, that you would want to send something out around. I would do things unexpectedly, and I do things a little bit differently. You want to give memorable gifts, things that people will see their gift or use their gift, and they will reflect on that. A lot of what he does is Cutco knives, where these high-end knives can be like $200 for a few of them, and he engraves their people's names on them. When it comes to holidays or comes to other times that they are using these knives, they remember him, and the stories he tells around it and so forth are very impactful. But I would recommend that. Actually, I'd like to show you something. I used his approach, and I gave out a high-end digital digital photo thing. I'm pulling up a friend of mine, or let's see, a guy that's an EO that I do business with, and he's also a friend. I sent him this a couple years ago, and it is it's a digital aura. It's an aura digital frame, and here is, you can see he sent me a picture of the frame, and he said in the picture, he said, best gift ever. Okay, and this is random because we weren't talking. He just had some pictures come up on it that he posted. What's really cool about it is that you get a mobile app, and your family or kids and people can get the mobile app, grandparents, and you can load up pictures with anybody can load up pictures that has the access to it and send in pictures, or send pictures to the frame that allows for people to see them. So if you have kids and their grandparents want to see their kids more, you could get them a frame, and so on and so forth. Now these things have come down a little bit in price. I think you can probably get them for around $200 or a little less maybe. But this is a framework, or this is an approach to marketing that's different and is not for like masses. If you got hundreds of clients or even thousands of clients, this is not something you're probably going to do. But there's always that way to send out those unique gifts that could be a $5, $10, $20 gift that's going to stand out in people's minds. They're going to see regularly. They're going to think of you when they see it. And so he sent me that picture. Do you think that if I just sent him a birthday card or gift basket that had some fruit and some chocolates in it, that he would be remembering that 2 years later? No, but he's thinking about that, thinking about our relationship business-wise, and thinking about our friendship. So that's a way to put yourself in front of your clients, in front of your important people in your life, that you can have a memorable aspect. So if you really are serious about this, get the Giftology book, and then you can go to his site and you can see things. If you give things away that are more nominal in price, then that would be, they would have ideas for you on there. And also for the more higher end things too that will really make an impact. He does this all the time. John spends $250,000 a year giving away stuff, okay? And it has a major impact on his life and his business, which he talks about. So hope that helps, Robin. Next question. David Submitter. David asked, David, it's not on the same line. David Monge. David, I hope I say your name right. David Monge. David says, how do I install good work ethics in my team? I have a team member that leaves at 5 and always does the bare minimum. Any suggestions? Business description and background. I hired my first team member about 9 months ago who mainly helps with clerical activities, setting appointments, and with follow-up calls. She's smart, and I know she has potential, but she does the bare minimum and always leaves at 5 p.m. on the dot. I don't know why that bothers me. Okay. David, I have had the same issue and the same struggles over the years. Okay. It's not, you want people to do what you expect them to do, but at times I realized that it was a lot of my issue than it was theirs. When people work for us, they have a mindset that they work for you and that they work for somebody and that they are done when the clock says that they are done. Now, that's not all people. A lot of people are working at night that are on a salaried position and sending out emails and doing things, and it's a matter of hiring that right person, okay? What we call A players in industry. There's an approach to hiring called top grading, and in that approach is looking at figuring out how do you go through an interview process and how you, it's not guaranteed, but how do you get a higher percentage chance of hiring the best candidates. And I look at this and I have tried over the years to do what I could and follow this approach to get the best candidates because it's very hard. Okay, it's very hard to find people and to hire people and for them to be that outgoing and so forth. So what do you do? Okay, there's a couple things you can do. One, is to initially build on an environment that's motivating and exciting for the people that work for you. Is you have to build a culture that is about those core values that you want to instill in your company. Now, the core values are made up of the key people that are in the company. There's ways to go about this, and I'm going to say that it'd be best for you to go to jimcollins.com. I've talked about Jim Collins before. He wrote one of the best business books ever called Good to Great, and he has a site that has a lot of resources in it. I would go to that site, and I would go to, once you go to Jim Collins, I'd go to the articles section of the website, and I would scroll down to building your company vision and also BHAG. Building your company vision talks about creating core values and a core purpose that allow for you to determine what that chemical makeup is, what that mindset is that you want to have in your company, and allow you to go and create that and have that and reinforce that within your company. Okay, so it's kind of like this. If you had a goal or a core value of constant learning in your company, and you want to have no more like 5 to 6, 3 to 6, 7 core values, no more than that. And if you had a core value of constant learning, then you would look at this core value and you would have, when you have your weekly meetings or your monthly meetings or your quarterly meetings with your team, you would be like, okay, who's demonstrated, or you would have different people maybe pick out an example of somebody demonstrating a core value. And if they were using the constant learning, they would say, yeah, hey, Tom over there, I saw him, he was on a webinar learning some additional things about what we're doing here at the business. I see him always researching stuff. He's a constant learner, and I see him emulating our core value on a regular basis. And it's like, wow, Tom's thinking, well, thank you, and the rest of the people are seeing this, and then you would maybe a core value of working hard or always thinking about the business, whatever that may be, that comes with the aspect of creating your core values. But then you would hire people that resonate with these core values. As you go through the interview process, you would be talking about things and asking questions around and seeing if what their actions are, what their history has been, is reflective of these core values. Then you bring people on your team that match those core values, and when you do, you have them more in sync with who you are, where the company is, and where the company is going. Another key aspect to this is when you create a BHAG. What is a BHAG? BHAG is a big, hairy, audacious goal. It is a place that you're driving to take this company. It's a 10 to 20 year goal. And when people come into the company, they see this goal as BHAG. It should be inspiring. It should be like creating this excitement about where we're going. A great example of a BHAG was John F. Kennedy, 1961 or so, saying that by the end of this decade, we're going to put a man on the moon. And he got that. He helped build up that excitement of sending a man to the moon. And when we created the programs, and even when he was assassinated in '63, it created a movement that just was bigger than him and bigger than anybody in the government, the organizations that you're part of. And when you do that, they still are all inspired to move in that direction. So one of the things that you want somebody to work more involved, then they need to have a purpose and a reason or a goal to help push them to that. And if this person is not part of like meeting the core values, then you get them out. I've heard many times in the past from many of my different EO events I've gone to, and people say that you could have the top salesperson, the person that's outselling everybody else by 50 or 100%. If that person is not meeting the core values of your company, they got to go. Okay, they got to go. Even, if we fire that person now, we're going to lose so much business. It doesn't matter, because if you don't get rid of them and they are the bad apple in it, they will spoil everybody else in your company and will ultimately create a disaster for what you're trying to accomplish. So anyway, David, hope that helps. I hope that that you take a look at Jim Collins and you can get some insight as to what it is to build a culture that is appropriate for what you're trying to accomplish and where you want to go and the type of people that you want to have. Okay, so now reading this correctly here, I got Jessica Hosh. Jessica, hi. Question asked, should I keep my business partner or work independently? Business description and background of question. As a nutritional coach, I originally opened an LLC. I had someone approach me wanting to invest in my company and in return own half of it. She was going to pay for marketing, web design, online ads, etc. After opening, signing a shareholders agreement, getting a bank account, she became unresponsive. I couldn't get time with her. The website was mediocre. She didn't commit any time to me to invest her finances any further. She said she was too busy with her other business. I offered to dissolve the corporation, and I want to just move forward with my own LLC. She is very successful. Her other business is a multi-million-dollar company, so I thought it would really benefit me to have her have that resource. Her response to my suggestion to dissolve is she asked to be a silent partner, adjust percentage of shares, and she could still fund certain aspects until she has time to focus on the rest of it. I don't know what to do. Okay, so Jessica, a little bit more info would be helpful in this situation, like how much money did she give you, what percentage did she get in the business, and so forth. And one, for determining like controlling interest. Does she have a controlling interest in your business? A lot of people that give money want to make sure they have control because they're the one financing the dollars and they want to make sure they get those dollars back. So if that's not the case, and you still have what sounds like what is a working arrangement here to discuss things. But what's really good, Jessica, is that you have accomplished something that so many people want and they can't get, and that is an investment partner. And so congratulations to you on going out and getting somebody who thought highly enough of you to want to invest in you and want to invest in this business that you're trying to grow. So that's exciting, and it's really just a matter of making some adjustments here. She sounded open when she said, let's look at, I'll be a silent partner, adjust percentages. So what is it that would make you happy? I would make a list of the things that I'd want to see in this partnership to the point that she can give, right? So one, she can give dollars. She can maybe give advice once in a while. Maybe you could set up something in agreement. Okay, let's adjust shares percentages. So she'd say maybe she adjusts her percentage down because she's not going to be there as much. That's good for you, but you still have her as a resource. Can we meet once a month, silent partner, and discuss things? Can we meet once a quarter so I can get an overview of where the business is and you can give me feedback on where I'm going and how I should get there? Also, you talked about the website was mediocre. Well, did she provide that website, or did you guys agree to go to somebody and pay for the website? What I would do as part of that list is that I would take the website to somebody that you feel confident can structure a or build out a good site, and then ask what that cost is going to be to do that, and that be part of the conditions that you put in as you make the adjustment. Okay, so we're going to need X dollars. We'll make up a number here and we'll say we need $2,500 to refine the site, get it up to what would be an attractive, marketable, and so forth type of site. And then also, I'm going to need something else. I'm going to need X to get the business going. I'm going to need this. It's going to take this much money. These are the things that I like to see you do right now. And we adjust percentages so that I have more of a stake of it because I'll be doing more of the things and not getting as much help from you. But you'll also be giving me access to some of these dollars that we talked about originally and allowing us to move in a positive direction and actually grow this business. So I think. I think that would be, in my, the way I would approach it is I'd go back to you got somebody there that's in your corner, somebody that's willing to have given you money, willing to give you some more money depending on the situation. So go back and think about this and structure it in a way that's going to meet these demands, and try to think strategically, because once you do this, you're not going to probably be able to change it until sometime down the road where you'll be able to go back and say, we're growing, we're doing this. If we put more money into this area, we can grow even more. And she would be excited about that because she's going to see a return on her money as the company grows. Anyway, lots more that could be discussed around this relative to some other details that I don't have, but I like this opportunity for you, and I like to see what you can do to help make this relationship work for you. Yes, getting out of it is an option, but then it doesn't give you the capital that you may need. If you don't need the capital, then yes, running your business yourself is, but you really got the best of both worlds, because a lot of times the problem I have with people that come in and invest, they demanding, controlling, want to be there and tell you what to do. Sounds like you got a great situation. They're going to give you some money, and they're going to sit back and wait for you to do what you need to do. You get to run your business. So I think you got an ideal situation here. See how you can manage through those options and so forth. Good luck with that, Jessica. So next person is AJ Cults. AJ asks, how do you wake up earlier consistently? I'd like to know the answer to that question. Business description and background of question. I struggle immensely with consistently waking up early. I do great at it for 30, 60 days, then absolutely fail for the next 30, 60. I've read lots of books on it and implemented many different systems, but none of them have helped me truly be successful at this long term. Okay, so AJ, a couple questions for you really is trying to figure this out. I would be asking yourself, are you identifying as a person that has a problem with sleeping, or are you a person that wants to adjust your ability to sleep? So what I'm trying to say there is, a lot of times people identify themselves as something and they walk around saying, I am a person that can't sleep, as opposed to, I have a sleeping problem. And if you label yourself as that person, then that becomes part of your identity, and it really is a struggle to help break through that. Okay, so that's one thing that I would do is, given what you're saying here, and the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because you're, say, 30 to 60 days, you do really good. Well, 30 to 60 days is the time period that you build really good habits. And so if you're doing this for 30 to 60 days, you're building these habits. What is causing you to go off track? What is the problem when you're building these good habits in place, and why are they not being consistent? Why is it like almost, jump? It's like somebody that, you go to the extreme here. It's like somebody that has a alcohol problem and they're dry for 60 days, and then they go off the bandwagon again and they start drinking. Well, what is it that changes there that causes them to do that when you have developed a good habit, and so forth? So here you're developing a good habit. Why are you not having success? So what is early to you? Okay. I would be thinking about that. What is early? What time do you want to get up? Are you thinking that you need to get up earlier than your body is wanting because you think the earlier you get up, the more successful you'll be? You hear that a lot, and I've heard that a lot over the years. You know, yeah, the 6 a.m. person or the 5 a.m. person. And so I've aspired to that, but that I realized that that wasn't me. So what is you? And what is it that if you have this time that you know you want to get up, are you going to bed at enough time to give yourself those hours that your body needs to recoup, regenerate? So that is a key aspect of how I would look at this. Time for that like I had a period of time where I didn't even use an alarm clock, and I got up within 5 to 10 minutes the same time every morning, and that like you can condition your body knows you can condition your body like I need to get up at 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 6 a.m., and your body will wake up. Your consciousness will wake up when around that time. And you just tell yourself it just takes a little bit of practice to do it, and you could start doing that, something like that, so your body is telling you to get up and it's time to get up. Also, do you snooze a lot? I'm a person that likes to hit the snooze button a couple times, but I've found that once the alarm goes off, I should be doing my work to get out of bed at that time. And we get yourself going, get yourself in the shower, get the music on, get something going that starts to wake you up, get your coffee going. Whatever you need to get going is to get that time period or get that and go. Now I have a lot of flexibility with my time. I don't have a lot of demands, commitments that I need to be dealing with. So with that, I can sleep a little bit if I want to. So sometimes I do. If I've had a really significant workout or I had a big weekend and I may want to sleep a little bit longer because I want to, if I feel refreshed and completed enough sleep, then I will do that. I've also had some trouble sleeping. Okay, as we get older, hormones change, different things change, and sometimes you just don't sleep as well. So another suggestion I have for you is I've used Dr. Joe's sleep formula. So just type in Google Dr. Joe's sleep formula, and it's not cheap. I think it's like $60 a bottle. But you take 3 pills and you sleep. Well, it may take a few days of getting it in your system because it's not like a sleep drug. It doesn't. It has some little traces of melatonin, but a lot of people get messed up with melatonin when they put it in their bodies. If they dream too much or they have something that bad dreams or whatever. So I found that it helps me get the amount of sleep when I consistently do it. And I go to bed at the right time, I'll get up, I'll feel rested, and I'll have a productive day. So, hope that helps, AJ. So, next question. Robin Turpin. Robin's asking another question. What strategy would you use to speak with a gallery or a company to help sell your art if you were an artist? Business description and background. I am an independent artist, and it's called Art for Calm. I asked this to know how to approach possible galleries or sales agents to help increase revenues. Thank you so much. Elevator pitch. As an artist, I help people feel moments of calm through my oil paintings of sunsets. Okay, Robin. So I don't know if I've asked you this before, but do you use Etsy? Okay. Any artist or every artist out there, in my opinion, should have some aspect of Etsy, being on Etsy. Whether you make paintings, jewelry, knickknacks, odd like memorabilia stuff that you create, being on Etsy is creating a worldwide platform for you to host and sell your respective goods. So, why would you not be on it? This is a starting place to get exposure, to get you in a world of marketing your products in a place that, a lot of people love sunsets. And maybe you're just not getting enough visibility on your sunsets. But if you put yourself on Etsy and show your paintings there, you can become more popular. There's some activities and things you can do to help get exposure on Etsy, and with that, you're going to be able to sell to people in China, or somebody in Japan, or somebody in Russia, or somebody in South Africa, wherever it may be. Somebody may see and be attracted to yours, and as long as the cost and the shipping is not going to be prohibitive to them, they may be buying your work. So I would, and remember, there's a lot of people out there with money, a lot of money. I mean, people spending money on ridiculous things. Digital painting that went for like $49 million. Only thing you can do is see it on your screen. So people have money to spend on stuff like this, and if you get them in front of your audience, or you get them as an audience, you potential to sell a lot more of your paintings and scale your business a little bit. So that's kind of a side aspect to your question. Your question is, how do I talk to galleries? And you know what? I've got some friends that do this. I never have been of the artistic approach in life. I've never been a creator of music or art or knickknacks or something like that. And so I've always been a business guy. My passion is around business and helping to grow business, figuring out how to be better at business, leadership, and so forth. All those things have been my forte, and why I've spent so much time reading and being an EO and so forth. I would, so I say that is that my passions were around other areas. So I've got friends that do this, and I have a friend that's getting ready to have an art exhibit in Las Vegas in the end of February, and he was talking to people in social circles and doing things, and one thing led to another, and it made this happen. There's some more details around that I don't know all of them, but what I would suggest to you is this: I would call people in your area, call some galleries, find some people that are networking in this, maybe on social media, and start exposing yourself there on social media. But I would call and ask some basic questions. What is it how do you guys work with independent artists? Do you ever have exhibits showing different independent artists? If you do, how does that work? What percentage of it do you take? Do you help with pricing the respective art? And so forth. Remember, a art gallery's job is to make money selling art. So if you have good art for them to sell, they think it's valuable, so forth. Can I, asking the question, can I come in and show you what I do and see if you would be interested in showing my art to one of your next exhibits when you show independent artists? Or something like that. Just asking those questions, getting familiar with the space, and the more questions you ask, the more data you're going to have to help make better decisions and figure out where you're trying to go with this. Okay? So, hope that helps, Robin, and I'll ask some of my friends this, and maybe I can give you some more feedback on it as far as how they do it and so forth. Okay, so next question is Felicia, and last name is my dyslexic brain is going to be troubled with this, so it's Giozelis, I think, maybe. So Felicia, hope I didn't butcher that too much. Question she asked: what is the best way to move away from the service I offer, quotes, healing, or parentheses, healing, one-on-one with clients, into a membership format, and how do I price it appropriately? Business description and background question: I have 18 courses and programs on healing and energy work that I can roll into a membership site. I want to offer this to people for a monthly fee, with other teachers and healers that I bring in to do monthly teaching. I want to stay out of this. I don't have the revenue for up front to pay people to host classes online, so I'm not sure how to phase into this. Would tiered pricing be best? A lifetime option? Question mark. Okay, so Felicia, this is appropriate question for me because I was in the works of trying to put something together online that would have been a membership site. We've since changed directions and moving that out into just a regular selling content site. So, but I did some research in this area, and hopefully I can help you with a few things. First of all, have you researched Kajabi or Thinkific? Okay, they are two areas of what are called learning sites and content management learning type sites where you pay them their SaaS program, their software as a service. You pay them anywhere from $50 to $150 a month, and you can host your material on their site. So somebody signs up, it takes care of that whole process of starting them getting access to your content and how you want to drip that out. Do you want to send out something every week? Or you want to send out something every month, or give them access to it every month? So every new person that comes in, they will have access to certain things depending on the level of membership that they are in, and you can determine all that within the back end of these sites. So building out a site like this can be very expensive, but these guys allow you to do it and allow you to come in and have all the those added benefits, along with setting up Stripe or some other type of credit card processing system so you can get paid. Okay, so I would make sure I've explored those sites, researched both of them. I think Thinkific is a little bit cheaper. Kajabi may have a few more marketing aspects to it, but you have to weigh that for your particular needs and see which one's going to be best for you from a cost and from a benefits aspect. Okay, so as far as the pricing of this, I would look at doing some market research, searching some sites that are in this space of healing and seeing what you can get from them or get from reviewing them. Where are they pricing? What services are they providing? You may go to a site and the site says, for $25 a month, you're going to get access to this, this, and this. Well, you're saying, well, I'm going to provide those things, plus I'm going to provide this, that, and the other. And when you do, you should be able to charge more money, right? So see where the marketplace is and look that up and see what's out there and see what they're doing, and then see how you can be more unique. See if you can provide a little bit more content or a little bit more engagement, maybe. Like you said, you're bringing in some other speakers. You may want to be doing like private sessions online within the site, live like coaching sessions and so forth, where you're scaling your work and that you're talking to a bunch of people instead of a few. That's the advantage of membership sites. Okay? So what are you doing on social media with your own what you've done previously with the nutrition? Is that how you marketed it before? So you can actually leverage this membership site with your existing social media work or social media approach that you've already taken. Also, I would recommend to look up Stu McLaren, STUMCLAREN. Stu McLaren is the guru in the membership space. His site will have a bunch of free content along with some paid content that can give you access to a membership guide to building out to grow and start a membership system approach, an online membership system. He also has workshops on there, some free, that you can use to start building your awareness of how to best approach membership. I read a lot of Stu's stuff. I was getting access to his material. And as I was going through this, and I learned a lot from him. So I would research and find out what Stu's doing, read that material that he has. That's going to answer a lot of your questions that you're asking here about how to put this together and do this. And there's a lot of good things that you could be including in your site that is going to help. The next and last thing I would do is I would start reading up on Russell Brunson from marketing perspective. Russell Brunson is the guru behind ClickFunnels, and he's written 3 books. They're all secret something, expert secrets, which helps to figure out how to be the expert in this space and putting together a webinar on how you sell your product to people, and then you come to a funnel. They all come to a funnel. A lot of people think you build a website out there. Today's world of selling things, you don't use websites, you use funnels. A funnel is a page that is all about focusing on doing one thing, getting somebody's email or getting them to take the next step into another page that's in a funnel that takes them to another page that ultimately gets them to buy your product or give you access to them so that you continue to market to them. So I'll be looking at Russell Brunson's work, and I'll also look at Stu McLaren's work. Russell's for around the marketing. Stu can help you with marketing too around membership sites, but giving you the basics and the core aspects of what it's going to take to have a membership site. So good luck with that. So next question is, here we got Nada Salvik. Okay, so I'm sure I messed that up, Nada. Sorry. When or Nadia, I guess it is Nadia. Questions they ask: when first starting out in a business as a stylist to make extra money, would you have a second job or a side hustle or gig? Okay. Business description and background question. Currently, I rent space in a salon someone else owns. I'm a hairstylist. My goal is to own my own and rent space or have my own salon with stylists that work in my studio. Currently, I have a few slow months throughout the year and wondering if working a second job would take away from my focus. I do work a few days a month at a bar, but I have been thinking about picking up more. I simply want to build enough savings to be able to get my own space to grow. What would you recommend? Okay, Nadia. For this, I would say that you need to do things that are in your control. Okay, so a couple aspects about who you work for right now. You say you rent space. Does that mean that your clients that come, or the people that come to you, are your clients? That when you decide to go somewhere else, that these people can come with you, or have you signed some type of non-compete with this stylist company that they get to keep all clients and they give you clients? So what is it what are you doing to market your services to people? Because you ask about conflicting aspects of your time with doing other things or working. Now, if you can spend time working to grow your business by doing things that are bringing in more people, then that could take away. But I don't think in your situation, taking shifts to do other work is going to business that you're doing. And if you work extra hours here and you put in that effort to say put aside money so you can get to your goal, is going to be an option. Your goal is to have your own hairstyling place, and if that's your goal, then how much capital do you need to get started, and then how much do you have now, and how much can you be putting aside? If you can't put aside much money doing your current business because of your existing expenses, then it's going to be a forever process. So what you want to do is you want to figure out how to get more money or get access to borrowing money to get your own store opened. So I also would like to ask, what is it you're doing to grow your business? If you have these slow months that you said you have a few slow months every year, then why are they slow? And are there things you could be doing to have more business during that time period? Okay, I'd consider that, like, do you tell your existing customers, hey, if you refer somebody to me, I'll give you 50% off your next service, or give you a free service, or do something like that that's going to be beneficial for you to grow? Because if your business is about referrals, or if you're not doing much other than referrals, then motivating people to give you referrals is important. And or what other social media work are you doing? Are you showing your haircuts to people online, so your network of connections could be seeing what you do and be inspired to want to come to you? So let's see, I think that's it. And so if you don't have a non-compete in any way, and you can bring people in, when people walk into the store, walk into the salon, do you actually have the potential to receive some of them? Or is the only business you get the people that you are going out and getting yourself? So that's kind of an important thing to know, that the time you spent, is it growing people? Are these people that are coming to you are going to be part of your network? So when you leave, that you have this base of business, because it's going to be very key in you making these decisions of when to move. Is like, how many people do I have right now that are regulars, consistent, loyal to me, that when I move, they're going to come with me. And when you have that idea of that number of people that are going to come with you, you have an idea of how much revenue you can bring. So that gives you the understanding of how you can simply gauge the expenses and the revenue that you're going to be making, along with the other things you'll want to do to grow revenue once you start your salon, or grow potential new customers. So I would look at that and determine those things, and really do a lot to build those relationships that you have right now, the people coming in, and any new people that you get. If you can take them with you, then building that relationship, taking care of them, and making sure that you have the right relationship with them so that they'll come with you. People like to do business with people that they like. So being likable, being friendly, doing those things, so that when you go plus doing a great job with her hair, of course, but when you have that, and you have that ability to move those people to you as you go somewhere else, then you have more concrete data and evidence of when the time will be right for you to make the move. Along with doing this work that you're doing now, especially when things are slow. If you can't do if things are out of your control to bring new people to you right now, then I would be doing that other work and making sure I do it in a way that's going to maximize my time invested. When I was in college, one of my big regrets is that I worked at the cafeteria within the college, and I made minimum wage. And at that time, when I was in college a little while back, it was a few bucks, $3 or $4 or something. So I regretted the fact that I didn't go out and become a waiter at a nice restaurant, and that I made $10 to $20 an hour because of tips and what I would have presented as a friendly, on the spot type service to them. And I was a go-getter and hungry and young. I mean, I'm motivated, so I would have done the things that would have built on that friendliness and that relationship to make more money at that time. So I'm saying this to you, and that what are the time that you're spent doing extracurricular activities, how can you maximize your dollars, or maximize your time, and make the dollars that you need to make, so you can put it aside and you can save up for your salon. So excited about that endeavor for you, Nadia, because my whole passion of entrepreneurialism and business, and seeing people out there with their dreams, going out and making their own thing happen, is very exciting for me. And I look forward to hearing more from you about your move to your own place. And that's all the questions I have for today. So until next time, good to be here. Happy New Year again to everybody. What are your thoughts about this year? What have you done to think about how you're going to make this a great year? And we talk about setting goals and so forth a lot at the beginning, or we feel guilty if we don't set some goals. But contemplating this and writing out the ideas of what it's going to take for you to have a better year, and then bringing that back into the activities that you can be doing today to get you there, is huge. What's the core things that you need to focus on your day that's going to make your life better, going to make your opportunities better, going to make your revenue better, and so forth. So good luck with that. Have a great year and a great month till next month, and I will talk to you all then. All the best.